Well, here we go. It's been more than a minute, but I don't make any apologies. I have lots of hobbies, and I generally take off for soccer season with my daughter. So here's a couple pictures of her. She's this will be her last season going in, but so I've had this tent up for about 1.5 years. So just an Amazon tent made by Advance. I'll put a link up top there. Overall, I've been pretty pleased with it. It lasted 1.5 years here in South Louisiana, where where we had the biggest drought in the world, and we've had winds that were just unreal. But what you're gonna see is I'm gonna have to take it, and I'm gonna have to push the boat out the back because the trailer, I can't make this turn. So I'm gonna be pushing it out the back, strip the tent down, bought new covers. I'm gonna be putting new covers on it. So we're about to get after it. Well, as you can see here, I've had to make quite a few modifications while I was doing this. So this is where the top comes down. This is what holds the top corner on. So I've had to kind of rig some stuff there to hold it down. Most of my bungee things have pulled out. All these bungees are wasted. But, and this is areas where the boat was just rubbing up against it that I put some Gorilla Tape on it, and that's worked really well. But this side, because it's not in the sun all the time, it seems to be doing pretty good. But it's I've had to, as I take this apart, I've actually had to put a cover on it because I was getting enough rain leaking down along these seams up here, just over time with that wind and all, with that top. Like I said, 1.5 years, sun, rain, hurricanes, whatever, it's done pretty good. This is the side that you see me, I fold out all the time, but as it's been closed up, it started just ripping along these seams. So I started putting this strap along there to try and keep it from flapping. It's got 2 little loops on the inside where it attaches here and here to the post. So it's basically gone. It just deteriorated on me. You see, I've had to put some X's up on the top to just try and keep that, holding that together at the post, but it still provided plenty of shade. So now we're gonna go ahead and swap out the cover, the walls, and the doors. So get after it. Yep, here's my little cart that's been storing all my stuff. It's got stuff all over. It's got my rags and my sandpaper, and hopefully I don't see that stuff for a while. But I don't know, kind of want to see it again. But like, there's my roll of tape that's been holding it all together. But I'm gonna go back in. This is kind of the before picture. Like, before I get started, I'm gonna reorganize everything, go through all my boxes. Like, I know I got clamps and stuff and paint stuff in that one, but I'm gonna go through and reorganize all of that in my shop and everything, so as I restart, I'm all straight again. Okay, so yeah, I know this isn't a boat building video, but I'm also going to be doing this as, for people who may want to use a tent like this to build a boat. But changing these roof and sidewalls and all that stuff out, there's not really anybody that's shown doing that, so at least I didn't see it. So here it is. You can see the boat in there. By and large, this is kind of a bit of a silly video, but it's just more of just what it's going to take me to do it. And man, there's got to be a lot of cleanup. All those jugs of epoxy right there, all that stuff's got to go. Before I really get back started, I'm gonna really clean house here and have me a good framework to start from, much like I was talking about the card earlier. So just chill out and check it out. So as you can see here, as I just took that tarp off, all I did was basically take one of my stringers that was from my cradle. I just clamped it here. Probably got it clamped here in the middle. And then I think I may have it clamped or screwed that back there to that rear bulkhead. But that just gave me a nice little arc because I was getting a lot of water. I noticed I had some water in here, and it looks good now. So that's what we're about to do. About to push this thing out the back. Got to push it out the back because it won't make this corner. And once we push it out the back, put this new top and sides on, and then we'll pull it back up. So here we go. So I've kind of been using this four-wheeler with this winch on the front of it. I use it all the time to move my utility trailer and all. And all you see there is I run my winch cable over the top when I have my little cover on my four-wheeler. But I just hook to it with the winch on the ball and push it right on out of there, and it's easy to maneuver it around. It's just the way that the yard and the driveway is situated. And I have the legs of that tent that's actually bolted into the concrete, so that's why I can't really move it around to get it done. But you can see all those leaves, and look at the wind that just blew the leaves all over again. But I don't know why it's been super windy here for about 2 years. A lot more wind sustained day after day than I think we've ever had. But so that's it. I'm not going to talk a whole lot. You'll see what's going down here. I'm just going to, cut the old one off and put the new one up, and I appreciate you checking it out. I am a little amazed that, you realize that this whole tarp, all of the top, the sides, the ends, everything is all held together with nothing more than little, like 6-inch bungee cords that have the little ball on it. And it's amazing, really. I mean, even though I've had some degradation in some of them, but they've lasted for a year and a half. Most of the ones on the inside were still good, but because I got new ones with the new covers and all, I went ahead and changed everything out. But the frame and all on this thing is great. Like, even when I get done, all the dust and all, I'm gonna probably keep this or whatever to have it for events, or or whatever, give it to my dad. But it's pretty nice, and you can see kind of a confined area that I work in here. But it's paid for. But here's the just putting the new cover on was kind of tough, because if you can see the very top of that, the sidewalls of this tent are about 9 foot tall. So getting that thing over about 12 foot, that's a 6-foot ladder. I'm about 6'2", so I kind of got to get up there and stretch a little bit, but it all works out. So if anybody does this in the future, and typically when you buy this tent and all, you put the top on it before you ever erect the legs, before you put it up in the air, so it's a whole lot easier. You can just walk it over. But if you can just get it up on there enough, you'll see that I get this front left corner over here. Once you get it, you just kind of loosely get your corners. You don't want to put too many bungees on it until you get it all stretched out. And it doesn't stretch a lot, but till you kind of get it set where it's supposed to be. I had one instance where I put a bungee cord on it on the right side there just to kind of hold it. And as I was trying to pull it and maneuver it, I forgot I had put that one on it, and I couldn't figure out what it was hanging up on. And obviously you don't want to be dragging that thing and rip it or tear it. It's I think it's 180 grains or grams or whatever fabric. It's basically like, I don't know. It's held up pretty well. And even the little bitty spots that may get a small leak or something in it, just a piece of tape, a piece of Gorilla Tape, I found it better than duct tape. It's super adhesive, and it holds together really well. So you can see I got that front corner, get this back corner, and it's the way this thing's designed is you can see how it basically hangs down 12 inches all the way around it on the ends and on the sides. And so then the ends and all hang down maybe about an inch or two below the metal frame. So that's how it basically stays waterproof in there. So it's really easy. It's very functional, and you'll see the new sidewalls that I got. I didn't intentionally order them, but they have windows in them. So I'm a little confused and worried about how that's going to work out. So we'll see. I'll at least be able to open it up and get light, when I need to, but it's not really an issue for me. So once again, you can kind of see the ends, the doors, they hang from the frame independently of the roof. So like you said, here at this angle you can see how that roof overhangs on the end. You'll also notice when I come to start working on this end, after I've got the end I'm working on right now, it gets kind of hot because it's actually warm for, you know, mid-February here. Had to be in the 70s, I would say. But it was so still, and once I open that door that I'm working on right now, you'll see this other one start flying around here. So I mean, as you can see, the little tails are flapping around there. There's a good bit of breeze going on, so I was lucky for that. Yeah, watch right here. I'm about to get down. You'll see me go to the other end, and I'm going to unzip it. That other end. Now watch this end. Just by opening that end, you get so much more airflow back through there. Obviously, the wind was out of the south or maybe the southeast. But that's what allowed it to get some airflow through there. On these end walls, just to make it a little easier on myself on the doors, I actually put a piece of PVC. That's like 1/2 inch PVC, just so that when I roll it up, it just makes it easier. The doors themselves have some little clips on the bottom. I don't know what the clips are for, but you can see there I just zip tie it on there, and then you see me, it just helps it for when I roll it up. And because I can't reach the clips, there's actually clips that would hold the door open. Because I can't reach them standing on the ground, I just put a clamp on it, and because I have that PVC bar through there, it kind of holds it up and makes it firm. So you see I get a little confused here, much like building the boat. You know, you kind of get started and then you got to back up and go again. I had it laid out wrong, so I had to flip it over right here, and this should give you an idea where those windows actually got 3 really large windows on, you know, the side that's going to be up against that little carport and all right there. It should never be an issue, but this outside, I'm a little worried about it blowing the Velcro just getting old and worn. And if it does, I'll just put some tape on there. I mean, this is, you know, I'm trying to make this shelter last. You know, I'm not going to be using it for weddings or anything, but in the event that we move beyond this, you know, I can get another cover, another sidewalls or whatever if I need to. Another point, just for anybody else that gets these, like the first tent that I bought as a package, like all of the eyelets lined up for the walls and the roof, so you could use one bungee for both of them, and you know, obviously that worked fine. But I guess on this replacement one, it's a little bit different because the sidewalls and the roof didn't line up. So every eyelet, so there's basically a bungee about every 6 inches or so in there. So there's a lot of bungees that hold that thing together, and you can see it blows around a lot. Like I said, I've got concrete screws into that, and where I don't have them through the frames, like I tried to make the legs a foot wider when I first put this thing in, but then the doors wouldn't close. So once again, I live and I learn. I had to move them back in, and so on some places where my bit got really dull and I couldn't do it, I just have a piece of rope that goes to a screw that's down in the concrete, so it gives it a little mobility on that front end where I'm standing there. But the canopy has stayed there for, you know, like I said, 1.5 years. So I think the situation works. You know, it's not perfect. I'd much rather have a big old shop, and I'd really like to have air conditioning and heating, but this is economically available. You know, I think initially the initial cost of this was like $400. So that's, you know, you spread that out over 1.5 years as part of this project. That's a cheap part of this investment by the time it's all said and done. Kind of hard to see, but you know, that there's a cover, and it's like a plexiglass or something like that, a vinyl, you know, like it's sewn into the canvas. So like when you open the window, when you open the outside for the light to come in through those little, you know, cathedral looking windows, I like the fact that they framed them. You know, you don't need that outside cover there to make it waterproof. It's the vinyl's kind of sewn in there. You saw me put a couple pieces of tape, and I'm gonna come back there, and on all those places that where you have Velcro that covers that attaches the walls to the poles. I just want to reinforce that from the start. That was the first thing to go, because that's the only thing that's holding it through all that wind. So pretty quick little process here, and that's about it. So there you have it. We're going to get back. We're going to start running chase tubes and fairing the top sides and all that, and getting it ready. So hopefully we'll get back to work on it pretty soon. And you can see there, I just have to drop it down to where the tongue of the trailer is, and it gives me plenty of air going through there. So this is when I first started taking these patterns and tracing them out on this wood, and then cutting them out, and all of these pieces and all that plywood you see behind me is what's formed the boat that we're working on today. So as a part of trying to give back, as a thanks for all the people that have watched and have checked out my channel and subscribed, I will be putting out shortly a video with the rules and all about. I'm going to be giving away a set of plans for any flats river skiff for Salt Boatworks. So check out the link right here. Whenever it's live, I'll update it. We'll put the link right here. Go check it out. We're going to run the contest or whatever, and I'm going to give these away, ship them to you for free, something like that. All the rules will be defined in the other video, but this is where it all started for me. So I want to give this opportunity to somebody else who just needs a little bit of a start to get going. So maybe a free set of plans will do that. So keep watching. We're going to put that up shortly.